evening. Good evening. Welcome to Take Center Stage and Own It Magazine and Publishing. My name is Marisa Bludorn. I am your host, and I am super excited to be here tonight to talk about LYFE, the anthology. I have some amazing co-authors. I have the visionary in the house, and I have the publisher in the house, and we're going to talk business. We're going to talk all things life and lessons learned. So taking center stage and owning it is Angela Lewis. Come on, girl. You are in the house. This is my favorite.
Yes, in the house with Own It, honey. Yes. Anytime I'm in the house with Marisa, it's always a good time.
It is always a funky good time, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have your people on so we can talk about lessons learned in life. And listen, all of what we've been through in the last couple of years has really dug in deep with that level of self-awareness, satisfaction with self, what's been going on with life and all that good stuff. And so now is a time for an anthology to come forth about life and lessons learned. And we have some coaches. What if I'm hearing it correctly? We got some coaches in the house. And so So let's bring out visionary author. Let's bring out Chris, and let's talk to him a little bit before we bring on our co-authors. Chris is in the house with us. Hey.
Howdy. How you doing?
So Chris, you are the visionary, and Angela is the publisher. And so talk to us, how did you come up with this?
Wow, this has been 4 years in the making. It was a solo project. I used to be a head coach at Orange Theory Fitness. And through that journey, I found out that I really wasn't doing enough. I was helping people get a good body, but I was not helping them have a fantastic life. And I give most of this, other than God, I give a lot of props to my wife because my sleep pattern is I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. And if I get out of bed, it wakes her up. And in the process of staying in bed and trying to stay out of trouble, I ended up starting writing this book called The Articles of Life. Wow. And I know Angela had sent me a message asking, why do you spell life LYFE? And so I broke it down for her, and that stands for Landscape Your Future Every Day.
Wow, nice. Landscape Your Future Every Day.
And through the process, through the journey, life will bring to you what you need. It brought 7 phenomenal people into my path. And at that point in time, I said, you know what, this is not a solo project. This is meant to be a group venture. And so we got 8 badass coaches that are compiling all these lessons that we've all gone through individually, and it made this big life transformation gumbo that's in one book for everybody to partake in and just transform their lives.
This is amazing. And it's interesting because you didn't count it robbery to do a solo project. Yes. Because if you're anything like myself, I do a lot solo. Yes. Why? You can get it done quick when you do it solo. When you work with people, it's a building of character, integrity, and leadership. And so I applaud you for including others in your journey towards, just becoming more holistic in your approach to developing other people. Own Its platform is life, career, and business, right? Because no matter what, you're the one variable that never changes. So it's you, right? It's you, your life. And then you're going to start a career. And if you're in the career and feel like you don't ever want to be there anymore, then you're going to do a business. But you got to go in those patterns. So people will always say to me, Marisa, well, why do you take this approach? Because it is your life, your career, and your business. I can't work with you in any other capacity because it's a holistic approach. You got to deal with the person. And so without further ado, I want to bring on your co-authors, and we want to get in deep with your co-authors. Your coaches are in the house. Let's do them front and center. I believe we have everybody. And so we're going to go around. We'll start with Chris. Is this your first writing project?
Outside of music, yes, this is my first book.
Oh, nice. So share, before we go with your guest, share with us a little bit about that experience. Your first writing project, and then you brought people with you.
Yes. I'm one of those people that just, I do. And if I get an idea, I'm just going to do it. And so when it came to this writing project, after meeting these individuals, we all had so much uniqueness, but still had the same beneficial lessons that we've all learned. It was just a no-brainer to say, "Hey, this is something that we all need to really be a part of." And I'm a God-led, God-fed person, and when I get that inspiration, I don't question it. I just go with it, and I know it's going to work and figure itself out.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Angela, when you started working with Chris, how did that work out? How did you onboard him, get him started on this journey, and help him and coach him through this process?
Girl, it's so funny because I'm over here multitasking, making sure the ladies got their links and Chris got them so they can share it out, making sure Jillian can get on. So I'm doing 55 things. But listen, Chris, I'm telling you, it's amazing because he has the vision to really pull everything together. And so I met him actually through Cedric. And I think, Marisa, we've done a couple of projects with Ced. We did the Anthology with him, and then he was also on the project we did with A&M where we did the Success Conference. And so the
Wow.
two of them got together and really just said was definitely spoke highly of A&M, so we appreciate that. But got connected with Chris, talked a little bit about his vision, and I just thought it was amazing, talking about the articles of life and really trying to define what this book was going to be about. And so when you start talking about life lessons learned, everybody has something powerful that they brought to the table. Whether they gave principles about how to have a healthier lifestyle, whether they talked about being a geriatric mom, whether they talked about, dealing with some of their own personal issues with becoming a mom or dealing with illnesses. All those things that we do in life comes together, and we have to learn as we go. And I just think it's so powerful that they were able to pull these things out because somebody's going to resonate with that. And Chris, I loved it because he started out with messages in a bottle. And so I hope he gets a chance to kind of share what that means and how that's going to impact the readers.
Wow, messages in a bottle. I want to talk to I want to introduce your co-authors. Jamie, you want to share a little bit about yourself and what encouraged you to be a participant in this project?
So, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for having all of us. Thank you for helping us share our project. I'm 46. I'm a cancer survivor. I live every day with multiple sclerosis. I have 2 teenage boys. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 16 years. Not only was I a stay-at-home mom for 16 years, I was a stay-at-home mom who lost herself caring for others. I am a life coach. I teach yoga and meditation. And I'm going to be just completely honest. The first time I heard about this book project, I was super excited. Then the overwhelm kicked in and I said, nope, I'm not doing it. And then on a meeting with Angela and Matthew and said and I talked about this yesterday. I don't remember who said what, but there was just this moment of, oh my gosh, here's your chance to just do it. So here I am.
Yeah, you do, and it's interesting that you do go through that process. You go through a process. I remember writing my first book and publishing it, and while I was on the drive to the book signing, I said to myself, "What the heck did you do? You just put all your business out there. You're naked in front of these people." And you're going, and I was getting ready to have a panic attack. I was getting ready to say, "Oh my God." And all I could say to myself, remember I said I talked to myself. So all I could say to myself was, Marisa, breathe. Just breathe. It's okay. And not only that, it's too late. It's already out there. It's already out there for the whole world to see, to read, blah, blah, blah. And so it was a chance because it segued into where I am sitting today. And had I not taken that chance, and just, jump off the cliff, just jump off the cliff. If I had not taken that chance, I would not have had the experience. And that was 2014. So that's how many years ago I wrote my first book, and I've written 12 since. And so you can, this is really life changing. It's free. Writing is therapeutic. So I want to, artist, I want to hear your experience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Marisa, thanks for having me here this evening. I'd have to say that the big motivator to actually believe that I could write a chapter in a book has to do with Coach Chris and Said. They're just such motivators and positive and uplifting people. And the more I listened to them, I was like, yes, I can do this. And then when we were talking about like what could we write about, I started asking myself, well, what could I share in my life that would be helpful for others to be able to keep moving forward? And so I decided to be brave enough and to share the pivotal moments in my life that I have gone through that have been the most challenging, but that have taught me the most to be able to be where I am today. You know, if it wasn't for all those experiences, I wouldn't be here right now having this conversation with you. So it's pretty something.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it is nice to be in a community of people who are like minded. There's nothing about friends and family are great, but if you are someone who feels like you were destined for something else, a lot of times with your friends and family, they're like, "Oh yeah, we love you, we love you, we love you," but they're like, we don't want to have that conversation that you always want to have. We want to have that other conversation. So it's really great to be around folks who get it, understand it, and can connect it. And these kind of communities are just that. And so Carrie, if I'm saying it, am I saying it correctly?
Yes.
Yes. Let us hear about your story. What compelled you to partner in?
Well, I'm the oldest member of this group, but I never feel my age. So that's awesome. Chris kind of became my mentor. And so when I found out how amazing he was and all of his different ideas and visions, and then he, had this idea to write a book. It was like, I'm in. I've always wanted to write a book, but I always thought it would be some kind of a children's book. But it's definitely been something on my bucket list, and I was really excited to get that, to have that experience. So thank you. It's been really, really awesome. My thing is nutrition, and so I wrote about nutrition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Liz, talk to us about what drove you to do it. What compelled you?
Yeah, similarly to Jamie, I heard about it. I was really excited, and then I was in overwhelm and said, no, I'm not going to do this. But initially, Chris had reached out looking for people to write, and I write well. I've never tried to be a writer, but I am a good writer. And I'm a storyteller. I tell stories. I have a story for everything. I'm one of those people. And when we first got on the call, we're talking about a magazine. Then he said a book, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can contribute a chapter. Yeah, let me hear about this. So I was all in, and then I have no idea what I'm going to write about. I always thought I would write a book once I became famous for doing something significant. Then I would tell all my stories that I've had to tell for so long. So I'm like, I don't know what lessons to talk about. I don't even know where I am in my life at the moment. I'm in this really amazing transformational period and doing these awesome things, but who am I? Where am I? And I was talking to my family about it, and I said, I have this opportunity to write this chapter in a book, and I'm thinking about backing out because I just don't know what to write about. And my son's girlfriend was like, you're going to write about this. She's like, I wish that I had read this story 10 years ago. And I said, oh, okay, you know what? Let me go home and write about it and see. And I wrote it almost the entire thing the next day. I refined it quite a bit. But it just flowed from me. And there's a million lessons to be learned based on what the reader's perceptions are going to be. That's what I've
Yes.
learned from writing it.
Yes. You know, it's, you know, lessons learned. It's so important for us. We're walking epistles. And we can keep our stories to ourselves. We can keep what we've gone through to ourselves, because of shame, embarrassment, you know, just being a little uncomfortable. But there's nothing, you never know who, by sharing your story, you may save their life. You know, you just never know who's going to pick up the book, read it, and say, thank God I read this, because they were in a state of hopelessness. So I applaud you all for taking, you know, taking a stance and saying, hey, this is my story and I'm going to stick to it. And I'm believing that it will bless someone else. And so I'm going to start with you, Jamie, and share. You shared a little bit about being a life coach. What does that mean? So if you were talking to someone who would be potentially a client to you, what would you really say to them that would intrigue them to say, hey, I got to pick up this book. I got to connect with Jamie. I just need her.
Oh, you know, it's really hard to narrow it down. And I don't want to give too much away. I want everybody to dig in. You know, one thing that I didn't talk about, maybe I didn't talk about enough. I know that I added about it. You know, when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I was 22. I lived 1,500 miles away from my family, and I did it all alone. And I did have some friends that would give me rides and stuff, but I did it all by myself. Every major challenge that I have had in my adult life, I've done it on my own. And you don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be lonely. I mean, I didn't even know how to ask for the help I needed. So you never know what someone's going through. People look at me all the time and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. You look so good. I'm like, okay, you want to see my MRI? Like, let's talk about, you know, let's talk turkey, man. And you know, we don't know how strong we are until we find ourselves in situations where there's no other choice but to be strong.
Right.
So I don't even know if I answered your question, but you know, when I'm talking to potential clients, it's very much anywhere you're stuck, stalled, stagnant in your life, like you don't have to do it alone. And when you have your personal cheerleader, like your own personal cheerleader, what can't you do? So I guess we just don't have to struggle. We don't have to struggle with whatever it is we're going through. We can find a place of gratitude. We can find a place of joy, and we can find the help that we need.
Yes. And sometimes that's outside of your immediate circle. Sometimes it's outside of your immediate circles, because sometimes your immediate circle just does not get it.
Please.
Don't get it. And so you gotta love yourself enough to say, I'm gonna reach beyond them to get to the help that I absolutely need and deserve. Because there are people out there that they want to love people and there ain't nobody in their circle to love. So we want to make sure that we don't stay isolated. So you're very excellent. Don't stay stuck, stagnant. Be able to move forward. So you definitely want to connect with Jamie to make sure that you get unstuck, and are able to move forward. I want to do that. I want to I'm going to skip to you, Carrie, and ask that you would share you a little bit more of your background. And no, you mentioned a little bit of the children's book. I want to tap on that a little later, but share a little bit if you were talking to a reader and you really wanted to like intrigue them. What would it be that you would say to them?
Well, I've been a nurse for 39 years, and I lost my career to the mandates. And but God has been amazing, and I started taking coursework to become a health coach right as that all happened. And so I wound up with a new career just put right in my path. So that part's been really, really awesome. I never loved nursing, and I love what I'm doing. As far as the intrigue, I don't know if there is a lot of intrigue to nutrition. It's pretty basic. People, I've had coworkers that used to tell me Carrie eats cardboard because I would come to work with my little bowl of vegetables and meat, and that's what I eat. And they would all tease me. And I'd say, Carrie does not eat cardboard. Carrie eats amazing food. But, health equals wealth. If you don't have your health, what do you have?
Right. You better talk about it.
So my programs all get people to, sort of realize that the foods that we're eating and our environment is toxic, and that there are pretty simple swaps and easy choices that you can make to improve your health and to avoid those chronic diseases.
Yeah. So those are some life lessons, right? Is that in order for you to really do all the things that you really want to do, you have to be healthy. You have to be healthy, make those healthy choices. And so Jillian, we just got Jillian in the house, and so we want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. Introduce yourself. Went around and asked the question of what inspired you to be a part of this project.
My name is Jillian. I'm a healer and a coach. I love helping people reach their full potential. I use a very spiritual approach, and so I help people find their purpose and live in alignment with their soul purpose so they can minimize obstacles and create a life they love. And I really wanted to get my message out there, and these beautiful people invited me to collaborate with them, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's awesome. Now I hear an accent, so I'm going to ask you, where are you from and where are you at?
I'm in New South Wales, Australia. So
I knew you were. I could hear it all through and through. Oh, that's awesome. And I just got finished being hosted on the Power Up Summit. We just did a panel recording, and who was our host but a woman from Australia? She was from Australia, so I am just surrounded. It's a beautiful thing. And so since Jillian has put us in that international space and has made location a focal point, I want to ask everybody, where are you from? And I want to start with Liz. Where are you? What part of the world are you in?
I am currently in Indiana, just outside of South Bend, so Northwest Indiana. I'm about 2 hours east of Chicago, which is my hometown.
Oh, nice. I was just in Chicago. Carrie, where are you at?
I'm in the beautiful Willamette Valley in Oregon.
Oh, okay. Oh, I love it. I love it. Artist, where are you at?
Well, I'm actually considered international like Jillian. I'm from Canada. I live in Ontario, Canada, and I'm just outside of a little town called Sterling.
Oh, awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Jamie, where are you?
Austin, Texas.
I was in Texas too. Coach Chris, where are you at?
Well, live in Kyle, but moving to San Antonio. And that's how I met Jamie, because same neighborhood.
Oh, nice. And Angela, where you at?
Right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Hot Atlanta.
God. So we are truly international. This is a beautiful thing because with this pandemic, I tell you what, it broke the barriers. It removed the restraints, and that we can all come together. We can all collaborate. So again, I want to start talking about this book. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on this show right now. We're talking about the anthology LYFE with a Y. Chris, tell them why it's a Y again. Give them more enlightenment.
Say that again. What was that last part?
Why is it spelled with a Y? LYFE.
Oh, it stands for Landscape Your Future Every Day. Every decision we make, every decision we don't make takes us somewhere. We are in control of that.
Landscape your
future.
Is that amazing or what? Every day, landscape your future every day. And we're talking about life lessons. And so, artists, I want to come to you and say, what, let them know your professional title, and what would make them want to work with you.
Well, I'm a teacher and I'm a certified health and life coach, and I have chosen to work with moms who are raising neurodiverse children. I actually have a son who has hyperactive ADHD. He's also gifted in his visual and spatial skills, and he also has a potential learning disability when it comes to reading. So I've decided that I want to help out moms who are struggling with raising their children with whatever divergences that fall under the umbrella of neurodiversity.
Oh, that is amazing. And that is a specialization. I mean, boy, is it a specialization. And so that is amazing. And do you share any of, so in the life book, do you share any of your insight into that?
Well, the book is more of a pardon? The book is more of a sequential stages that I've gone through in my life. At the very end of the chapter, I talk about how I've chosen to focus on helping out mothers with neurodiverse children because I have a son who was diagnosed with hyperactive ADHD at the beginning of the school year. And so that opened up my eyes to how I see the world. I just can't see it the same way anymore.
And it requires so much growth for you as a mom and understanding. And so that's excellent. And I'm glad that you incorporated a piece of that into the book so that people will know, the readers will know and see if they are in need, that you didn't withhold that information so that they can actually connect with you. And so that is simply, that's amazing. I have someone I want to connect you with who does some of that advocacy work too. And I believe her son he is autistic. And so she works with moms and families in that same capacity. So I would love to connect you two together. There's so many connections here. That's amazing. And so Liz, talk to us a little bit about what you do.
I am a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I help women over 40, exhausted women over 40, restore function at the cellular level so they can easily lose weight and have more energy. So that's really fascinating career for me. I started out as a health and life coach and refined it a little further, kind of bridge the gap between a health coach or a nutritionist and a doctor, and that we're able to really run these labs and help our clients get very specific answers as to what they can do to move forward. And
you incorporate that into the book too?
No, I don't write that. I don't write about that at all in the book. I write about probably the most stressful situation I've ever been in my life. That stress is the root cause of all disease. And we have so many different stressors in our lives. And we can look at things like our diet and exercise or lack thereof and our sleep. But so much of the stress that we go under is also the emotional, the mental, just that stress that you feel it down, from your head to your toes, and you feel completely trapped. And how are you going to get out of this? And when you're in that situation and you live that way, I wrote about a time in my life that was probably the halfway point of my stress life. And I was 20. So, I have this experience that I can share with my clients about how these stressors that we continue to experience over and over and over in our lives can really impact us. And stress management is a huge part of what I do as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner.
Yeah, and you're so needed because women are told all day long that they can't lose weight after 35, right?
Yeah, and that's a lie. I lost 35 pounds just really mitigating stress and cooking, which was part of I was too stressed to cook.
Yeah.
So we would order out. So of course that causes a lot of problems. But when you learn to mitigate your stress, you're able to curb your snacking, curb some of those cravings, curb some of those behaviors that you use when you're stressed out. So being able to manage all of that can make a huge difference in your health. So it isn't all just diet and exercise. There are so many more aspects to getting healthy than just that.
It is. And you tapped on something that's so important, and I'm pretty sure is at the core of your book is EI, which is emotional intelligence. It's tapping into the emotional part because it starts here in the mind. It's how are we thinking? And then how does our thinking allow what we're thinking and the ideology of what we're thinking sink into our emotions? It's because here first. It's here in your knowledge base, right? And so what do you do with that knowledge? Do you own it and allow it to now filter into your system and into your heart? Because it's here, then here, right? What are we going to do with it? It's here, then it's here. And so it's so important to get that part of you right. And these lessons learned, believe it or not, gives you enough knowledge of who's out there and what they've gone through that you don't ever have to feel like you're the only one, right? So these kind of stories share that you're not the only one, so don't feel bad. And that's why it's important for us to get awareness out there that such books and literature like this exist. When is the book going to be available to the public? When are we launching it?
July 26th.
All right.
So mark your calendars and be ready. We are doing a massive launch for the Amazon pushing for Amazon bestseller. So for everyone who is seeing this broadcast, just be ready because the ladies and Chris and Sid will put out some verbiage with a link for you to go ahead and download that book copy. It'll be digital to start off with because we're getting ready to push, like I said, for bestseller status and international bestseller because we have, of course, Ardith and Jillian out of the country. So we want to make sure we get both of those under our belt. And I think it's just very much needed. I mean, they have come together and put such a rich project that is going to help people. You've already heard what they've said. And each one of them are coming from a different perspective that I believe is genuinely going to help someone in whatever stage of life they're in.
Whatever stage. Let's look at that book. Let's take a look. What does that book look like? There it is. It looks like it is full of fire. It looks so good. And the cover is amazing. The articles of life. Better you, better life. Better you, better life. So stay on the lookout. How can they follow you? How can they stay connected so that they know and are reminded of when you're going to release and all that good stuff?
Chris, I'll let you take that.
Okay. My tag on Instagram is going to be Better You, Better Life Coaching. Better You, Better Life Coaching. And then everyone else has their own Instagram. So go ahead and shout them out to make sure you're seen.
Yes. So we'll do that. We're going to do a go around. We're going to do a circle around. Jamie, will you let folks know how to get and stay connected with you?
Sure. It is the same on Facebook and Instagram. It is just my business, New Soul Rising. New NEWSOULRISING.
Oh, good. All right. Ardith?
Same on Facebook. It's Ardith Correa Coaching and Instagram at Ardith Correa Coaching.
Awesome. Carrie?
all the social media stuff is kind of goes over my head, but I think I'm just Carrie Roper.
Listen, they'll find you. They will find you. All right. So Liz?
You can find my Facebook page, Liz Georges, FDNP, or my group, Pissed Off Women Finding Peace.
Oh, go ahead, girl. Oh my God. Years ago, I was told that's not ladylike to say, but that's one of the favorite things I say. Don't piss me off. Right?
Mhm.
Don't make me upset. So, Liz, say it again because I know we were cracking up.
Pissed Off Women Finding Peace.
Ooh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Jillian, you're up. What's your social media?
You're mute.
You're muted.
You're mute.
You're on mute.
You got to come off mute. Jillian, you're muted. Come on, put your mic
muted,
back.
girl.
Sorry, my apologies. Tech issues this morning.
Okay.
It's extra
We
fun.
all do it. We all do it.
Yep. So it's JillianMorgan.165 for Facebook, and if you look for me as Jillian Kindly as well, you can find me that way. I'm not on Instagram much. I tend to be on Facebook more, so I suggest using that. I've also put a link to my Facebook page in my chapter, so
Okay, awesome.
hopefully that helps.
This is an amazing book. Super excited with what you guys are doing. So proud of you being courageous enough to share your story. It takes courage to put yourself out there, and I just want to say thank you because you just never know. People are waiting for us to show up so that we can be a model for them to follow, so that we can help them to have the courage for them to step out and take center stage and own it. And so I applaud each one of you ladies and gentlemen for leading, taking charge, Chris, and saying, hey, I want to include people because there's diversity in there, and there's diversity. And when there's diversity, you can hit more people and you can make more impact. And so I just want to say you're always welcome on the Own It platform. I love doing group interviews, and I also love doing one-on-ones to really, really highlight what it is you want to share with the world and how you want to make an impact. Angela and I love each other to death, and we support each other unconditionally. We want to see you succeed. We want to see everyone we come in contact succeed. And so we love you. We're so proud of you. So excited. I can't wait to get my copy. I got so many books in here. It's like ridiculous. I said, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these books? But guess what? They're all rich. They have so much treasure in them to just make such an impact. And I can't wait to get my copy. I can't wait to get my signed copy. And I can't wait to see you guys take bestseller. I know you will with your publisher because she has done it a gazillion times over. And welcome to the published world. You're authors. Woo! I have crossed over into the deep waters. And congratulations. We want to say to our audience, thank you so very much for being with us tonight. These are the articles of LYFE, LYF, and that is Landscape Your... Come on, Chris.
Landscape Your Future Every Day.
Landscape Your Future Every Day. We're so excited. Thank you for watching us and being with us, audience. We love you. Be blessed. Have an amazing rest of the week. Can't wait to have you all again when you're bestsellers.
Yes.